Here he is live on the Spike stage, starting Tuesday morning with us, Jack Tretton. Jack, it is so great to have you with us, and congratulations. Sony's back in a big way, an incredible press conference. How did it feel walking off stage last night?
It felt great. I mean, I've been in the industry for a long time. You get a little jaded, you try to never get too high, never get too low, but I mean, it really felt good. And I think, we remind ourselves that you got to earn the consumer trust every day, but man, it was nice to enjoy it at least just for a minute.
No, I mean, I've been going to E3 since the first one back in '95. Remember the excitement around the first PlayStation. I feel there's that energy again for you guys, for the brand, and I know, throughout PlayStation 3, I'm sure there were struggles, and it feels like now, I mean, you sort of that weight has been lifted.
Well, I mean, I really feel good about the fact that, we started talking about PlayStation 4 back in 2008. And you can talk about listening to consumers and listening to the development community, but we really did it, and it's paying dividends now. And I think we heard them, we got them on board, and we hope we're going to deliver a machine that's going to have everybody really, really excited for years to come.
Hey, you brought your little baby with you here, the PlayStation 4, which looks incredible. Now, the big shocker yesterday was the price, $399. Microsoft earlier in the day had announced $499 for the Xbox One. Tell me about that pricing decision. I mean, when did you guys make that call? Did you sort of see what Microsoft did and say, like, hey, we have an opportunity here, let's announce it? Or how long ago was that decided?
You can't operate that way. You really have to execute a business plan, and, competitors change over time, and you can't spend your time reacting to their strategy. You have to execute against yours. But as I said, I mean, I think we thought about the consumer value, we thought about the development community. We really wanted to give the development community a machine that they could build the best games on, and we wanted to bring it out at the most consumer-friendly price because we like to see a steep ramp and really get the install base going.
Well, it is a beautiful machine and obviously a great price point. Let me ask you about the other big news last night, where you got, I think it was we tracked it was like a 60-something seconds, ovation from the fans talking about used games, because this has become such a hot button issue for gamers right now, with the idea of trading their games and DRM. And as you saw on Twitter, there was the No DRM PS4 campaign. Tell me about sort of that conversation, because I know it's complicated. There are publishers, there's consumers, there's retailers, obviously the first-party platform holder. When were all those decisions made about sort of how you were going to handle the used game market?
Well, I think if you think about the consumer first and you create a consumer-facing business model, that's going to be the key. But I mean, I've been, as I said, around the industry a long time. I remember when people were saying rental games were going to be a threat. People were going to go to Blockbuster, finish a game, or find out it wasn't good, that was going to hurt retail sales. And obviously, used games have been under threat for a long time. But again, if the consumer pays X amount of dollars for a game and they don't have the flexibility to get some additional value out of it, it changes the way they perceive the value of the game, and it takes dollars out of their pockets to buy new games. So I certainly think if you talk to the folks at GameStop, they'll tell you that used games are very additive to the business. We just want to give the consumer flexibility.
A man of the people, Jack Tretton. Let's talk a bit, though, about that situation, because I think there are still some publishers that feel that GameStop's capturing a lot of value there, that publishers are not benefiting from EA implemented online passes. We've seen that in this generation. For PS4, I mean, you guys have said, obviously, we're going to allow people to trade games and whatnot. If a publisher comes to you and says, hey, we actually want to, we want to restrict our game, or we want to do something around that, what will Sony's response be to that?
Well, I mean, we create the platform. We've certainly stated with our first-party games we're not going to be doing that, but we welcome publishers and their business models to our platform. There's going to be free-to-play. There's going to be every potential business model on there, and again, that's up to their relationship with the consumer and what they think is going to put them in the best stead. So we're not going to dictate that. We're going to give them a platform to publish on.
Right. But the Sony platform will not allow for DRM for third-party games?
The DRM decision is going to have to be in the hands of the third parties. Yeah, that's not something that we're going to dictate or control or mandate or implement.
That's fantastic. All right, so Killzone Shadowfall, I'll be able to share with my friends and do all that type of stuff.
I hope you spend a lot of time playing it too.
Well, I mean, you guys have a huge lineup, obviously, for PlayStation 4. One thing that I think gamers were wondering about yesterday, which might have been, I guess, a little bit of bad news or something they were worried about, was online multiplayer. So can you confirm now that with PlayStation 4 you are going to have to buy PlayStation Plus if you want to play online?
Yep, that's absolutely a fact. But I think the vast majority of the people that will be the early adopters of the PlayStation 4 already are PlayStation Plus membership. So I mentioned last night 95% approval rating. It is a great service.
It is, yeah.
And I think people are going to be really pleased with it. They're going to more than get their value there. But we're going to invest heavily in our network and make sure that it's a great consumer value. So yeah, there is a fee associated with online multiplayer, but I'm hoping consumers will appreciate the value they get in exchange for basically less than $5 a month.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're used to paying for it on other platforms. Tell me about that decision, though. I mean, is that so you can build PlayStation Network to be even better moving forward?
Absolutely. I mean, I think you want to invest the dollars back in the platform, and I think we've demonstrated that for a number of years. That you start out with what you hope is a good value, but then you add value over time. But if you look at a platform 5-10 years down the road, it should do a lot more for you than it did on day one. And I think you'll see that with PlayStation 4. We'll start with a tremendous suite of services, but it's going to get added to over time, and we're going to increase the value for consumers.
Now, when you look at what you guys are doing, I mean, a lot of people say it's a more powerful box than the Xbox One. It's a cheaper price now. But Microsoft, and I would talk to Don Matrick about this, he was saying, well, our box is future-proof. I mean, we're thinking further out about a service-based economy where, you're going to be connecting, and they have this vision, and, Sony is kind of making a machine for today. What's your response to that sense that, this is not the future?
I think people must have paid a lot of attention to what was said in 2006, because all the press we said about PlayStation 3 was that it was a future-proof device, and I think as we're heading into our 7th holiday season, we've proved that. So I think imitation is the greatest form of flattery, I guess. But the PlayStation 4 is the most powerful machine, hands down. And I hate talking the talk without walking the walk. Talk to the third-party development community, and I encourage people to look at games side by side from the third-party publishers and tell me which game looks more impressive to you on which platform. And I'm just telling you what I'm hearing from the publishers out there that are making the games. But I'd ultimately like to let the consumer be the judge as opposed to making boastful statements.
Absolutely. Well, and as you know, the online service is something that you guys have been building. I think have made a lot of strides throughout PlayStation 3 with what you're doing with online. Are you concerned, though, about digital downloads, sharing games digitally? You've talked about what you're doing for disc-based games. What is it going to look like in a world where I think a lot of us are going to start downloading our games?
Well,
right?
I mean, I guess it's not about being there first, but it's amazing how many times we introduce things and then other people create it and say...
Day one, I think you guys were first.
Day one digital, we've been there for a long time. So we've embraced the digital consumer. We've got a great relationship with retail. They're not threatening each other. The consumer's got more choice than ever. And I guess that's the basic mantra we live with, is choice for consumer as opposed to shoving something down their throat.
Right. Well, this is going to be $3.99 this holiday season. You also have the camera, which I know you guys announced last night. I think it's $59,
Right.
So that'll be available. We didn't talk much about that. That's not like a Kinect where you're going to need it or anything like that, right? It's completely separate?
No, I mean, I think it'll be an additive experience for people who are interested in motion gaming, but it's not part of the core experience that we think consumers need and are going to want out the door. But I do think there'll be a lot of interest behind the camera, and there'll be a lot of software support for it, but we're just not mandating it as a must-have for the consumer or a must-have for the development community.
Right. Now, we got lots of fans online asking questions about certain games and whatnot, and you know how they always like to ask. I'm sure you probably don't have many updates, but Last Guardian, I kept getting asked on Twitter, was this the right time? It clearly wasn't. Game still happening?
Well, I mean, I think the cool thing about our worldwide development studios, we got so many projects out there from so many great teams, and projects never ultimately go away. So The Last Guardian is certainly not going away, but it's on hiatus right now. But very excited about the 40 games we've got in development, and I think there's going to be a lot of great content. Hopefully people saw coming for not only PlayStation 4, but for PlayStation 3 and Vita. I'd stack this year's lineup on PlayStation 3 against anything we've ever had. So I hope people don't forget about this generation.
No, I think you guys announced the order last night. And what's amazing is you had so many games you announced in February. You guys didn't announce tons of new first-party games last night, but the stuff you had was still Infamous, Killzone. I mean, a lot of great games are going to be coming as well. There were also some great third parties on stage, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. Square got up on stage, talked about Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, and a lot of, I think, the fans were wondering, are those exclusive relationships for that game, or I know that those are just, they announced them there, but they're coming to all platforms?
Yeah, I think the numbers, we said 20 exclusive games coming from first party in year one, so I mean, that is, as far as I'm concerned, the biggest number of games coming in year one exclusively to any platform, and then 40 games with exclusive content on it. And it's going to vary by publisher in terms of what the content is. But we've got exclusive content on 40 third-party games for PlayStation 4.
And PlayStation 3, you've got Last of Us coming out this week. I've been playing it. It's incredible, Jack. It's my favorite game so far this year, as you said. I mean, an incredible rating. So PlayStation 3 is going to still maintain a lot of great software this year as well.
Absolutely, and I think that's important. I mean, there's 70+ million people out there that own PlayStation 3s, and that's the key to us, to deliver value not only through the early years of the life cycle, but well beyond the introduction of a new generation. So plenty of reasons to stay on your PlayStation 3 this year.
So when you think about, moving forward from E3, as you said, it's a high point, and you guys absolutely deserve to be celebrating this moment for PlayStation. I think it's a great moment for gamers. But when you look forward, I mean, there's still work to do to think, in many ways convince a lot of the Xbox owners to say, hey, leave Xbox Live behind, come to PlayStation. We are your home now. What is your message to the people watching here who maybe have never been a PlayStation owner or bought a PS2, skipped PS3? Why should they come back now?
Well, I mean, I think from a business standpoint, it's a marathon, not a sprint. We've got our PlayStation fans. There are certainly Xbox fans out there. There are Nintendo fans. And then there are some people in the middle. And I think we'll try to serve our PlayStation fans first and foremost. And we'll try to give people that haven't been on the platform a reason to give us a good hard look and try to convert some of those people over. But, we realize rising tide lifts all boats. And there are a number of different takes at the business. And, I respect our competition, but I feel really good about our approach to the business right now and the way it's resonating.
Well, I think that's a really good point because, the gaming industry, that's something that we all care about. And I think, the fact that there's been a lot of stories out there about how gaming is shrinking, it's in trouble. I mean, coming out of E3, it feels like there's so many great games across so many different systems and platforms from publishers. I mean, do you feel bullish now on where gaming is going? Do you think the people out there, the mainstream, are going to realize
bullish.
that?
I mean, those are the questions I hate to answer. And fortunately, the people that watch your show understand the difference. I mean, smartphones and tablets are great, and they're really additive to the gaming business. They're bringing new people into the fold. But, I mean, the people that want to go out and play The Last of Us, we're not going to lose to a tablet or a smartphone anytime soon. And the amazing thing is I've been having the same conversation for 27 years. In 1986, when I got into the business, I was told that, gaming was a toy, the console was a fad, and everything was going to go over to the PC. So I'll probably make it through my entire career before the console goes away. It's not going anywhere anytime soon.
We've been doing these interviews now for, I think it's 6-7 years at E3 every year. And every year we have to ask you one question, Jack, right?
You're gonna, go ahead. I'll let you ask it because I know.
Are you ready? Here we go. This is the yearly routine, right?
Okay.
So, Jack, are there any news on Agent?
I would say that we have great friends over at Rockstar, and they're developing the game, not us. So I'm looking forward to hearing. If you hear anything, you let me know. If I hear anything, I'll let you know.
Unfortunately, they never seem to appear on this couch at E3. So they're busy working on GTA 5.
Yeah,
you do have an
GTA
amazing
5 is going to be incredible
package with them, right?
Yeah,
GTA 5.
and I think when you see GTA 5 and how exciting it's going to be, and we have a great partnership with those guys, so very, very excited about it.
No, they have more news on your stage than anyone else's about GTA 5 and that bundle. So, Jack, I mean, this is your moment. So congratulations to you and everyone at the PlayStation team for what I think was an incredible E3 press conference after all these years. It's great to see the energy amongst gamers there. So we have a ceremonial mic for you to drop.
All right.
You can, just like a rap battle, you can drop the mic and walk off.
All right. I'm out.
Drop the mic. There you go. Tretton dropping the mic. Thank you, Jack Tretton.